Everyone, shoot raw. Hey, what's up everyone? You good? This is Hyunmin Jung from HMJ Photography. Every week, I post videos about photography and cameras in English and in Japanese. So please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I can really use your help. So today, I'm gonna talk about shooting raw. Maybe some of you are thinking, what is a raw file? It's literally a raw data your camera has captured, just like raw chicken ready to be cooked. So it's not compressed and it has tons of information of your image. Think of raw file more as a data than an image. Well, in many cases, you can't even open raw file as an image if you don't have the right software. Raw file is a data ready to be edited and then converted into an image. Just like raw chicken ready to be cooked or raw mushrooms ready to be cooked if you're a vegan. On the other hand, when you don't shoot pictures in raw file, your camera automatically saves those images in JPEG file. JPEG file is a compressed data of your image that went through some kind of image processing inside your camera. While raw files are like raw chicken ready to be cooked, JPEG files are like spicy chicken sandwich, which is already cooked. God, I miss Popeyes. Because raw files are like raw chicken, you can cook it the way you want to. There are so many ways you can tweak and edit your images. You can cook chicken parmesan, jerk chicken, and of course, spicy chicken sandwich. Raw files have massive amount of color information your camera has collected, which means it has the capacities to be edited. So when the sky is blown out and it's just plain white, you can bring down the highlights and recover some of those details. And also, when the shadows are too dark, you can lighten it up without compromising the image quality so much. There are so many things you can do with raw files. Just like there are so many delicious dishes you can cook with raw chicken. On the other hand, because JPEG files are like already cooked spicy chicken sandwich, there aren't much you can do to it. Of course, yes, you can do some edits in your JPEG file, but it is very limited compared to raw files. Let me show you some examples. This is a picture I took a couple of years ago when I used to live in Brooklyn. You can probably see that sky is just white. When there are bright skies and also a darker shady parts coexisting in one image, it is not so easy to get the right exposure. However, with raw file editing, I turned this into this. Well, at the time, I was experimenting with some hardcore raw file processing and the photo looks almost like a painting. But can you see that the sky that was just white now is blue and even has some clouds in there? This was possible because the raw files actually had all the color informations. On the other hand, take a look at this one. I applied the same settings to the JPEG file of this photo. The sky is very much just white. That is because in the JPEG file, it did not have that color information and it just recognized the sky area as white. I tried to tweak it, but no matter what I did, it was just white. So by shooting in raw file, you kind of have an insurance, a safety. Even when you take a picture that you're not totally happy with, you can edit the image and make it look closer to what you ideally wanted. Of course, there are some limits, but you can do so much more than JPEG files. Some people think that by shooting in RAW, you automatically have a better, pleasant looking pictures, but that's not really true because in many cases the JPEG files go through some kind of image editing when you get it from your camera. So when you compare that JPEG file to unedited RAW files, JPEG files tend to look better. RAW files are meant to be edited, so the RAW files itself may not look so pleasant. You might say, I don't know how to edit images, so I don't need to shoot RAW. Okay, maybe now you don't know, but that might change in the future. And maybe you might learn a thing or two about image editing and RAW developing, and you might want to go back to some of the pictures you took in the past. Well, if you have RAW files, you may be able to make it so much better. By the way, processing RAW files are not as difficult as you may think. I might make a video about that later. What I usually do is I take RAW and JPEG at the same time. With modern digital cameras, you have an option to save your images in both file formats. Usually, when you don't do the settings, your cameras will just take JPEG images. So, go to your settings and change it so that it can take both RAW and JPEG. For example, when I use my GR cameras, I like to shoot in high contrast black and white mode. So when I take a picture, the JPEG image I get is in black and white. The JPEG file is in black and white, so you can't change it to color later. However, unless you have some dedicated monochrome cameras like Leica M10 monochromes, the RAW files you have has all the color informations. Now, let's talk about some cons of shooting in RAW. Personally, the way I use my cameras, I don't really think there are any cons, but everybody's different, so it may have more impact to some people. It is that RAW files are much bigger than JPEG files. Actually, it's quite huge. When I take pictures with my Sony a7R IV, one single shot of RAW file is about 120 megabytes. So when I take about 9 pictures, it's already more than 1 gigabyte. So naturally, you will need to invest in bigger SD cards or hard drives and whatnot. Also, because the files are so big, there could be some time lags when you take some pictures. So when you take some pictures in like burst mode, your cameras might not perform as well as it should. However, unless you're some kind of sports photographer, you probably don't have to worry about this too much. I personally would like to recommend everyone to take pictures in RAW, but everybody's different. So do what suits you the best. You might love spicy chicken sandwich so much, you might not even want any other dishes you can cook with raw chicken. Well, that's it for today. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you very much, and until next time.